When I go through the book Cowboys by B.N. Raman, who was in the research and analysis wing of India, I feel like history is repeating itself when I'm following the recent saga of 𝗤𝙜𝗻𝙜 Pannu. In the early 70s, the CIA, along with ISI of Pakistan, were actively aiding and helping another individual called Dr. 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 Chohan. So to understand what is happening today with Khalistan and all these things, wherein now you have a much more nuanced, much more louder, in-your-face movement, we need to go back in history to follow what is going on. I have borrowed liberally from the book by Sree Raman on what happened and a view of the events from the ringside seat. So here we go. So who is Dr. 𝗤𝙤𝙤 Chohan? He was a deputy speaker in the state of Punjab. He also became the finance minister. This happened between the period 1967 to 1969. And then he went to the United Kingdom and then something happened. So to understand what happened, we need to go back a little bit from the time of independence. You know, post 1947, Sikhs were the first to migrate to the United Kingdom. They followed their customs, but over time found employers insisting that they shave their beard and remove their turbans. Indian High Commission did not intervene to help them. Nehru had a very hands-off policy as far as standing up for the rights of Indian diaspora at that point of time. In fact, I would be bold to say that the Indian High Commission followed this rule for a long time. It's only in the recent past, especially after I think Sushma Swaraj, that the Indian High Commission, the Indian consulate started becoming much more proactive, much more helpful to its diaspora. I have to admit that. That was a big change that the Modi administration brought. So, get back to what is happening between 47 and 60s. The Sikhs saw Israel stand up for the Jews of the United Kingdom, but not India. Israel allowed dual nationality, but not India. The Sikh drivers and conductors in the United Kingdom formed an organization called Sikh Home Rule Movement. Now, remember our hero, Dr. S Chohan? He migrated to the United Kingdom, took over this movement and called it Khalistan. That is how the word Khalistan was born. Now, in 1971, things were getting really ugly in East Pakistan. Lots of people were being uprooted, killed, genocides of Hindus, and even the liberals of Bangladesh, or what would become Bangladesh, was taking place. And Indira Gandhi was traveling far and wide and listing the atrocities that were being committed by Tikka Khan, the guy who was the chief of Pak army in the East Pakistan. Now, to counter this, Pakistan, with the help of the United States, especially Dr. Henry Kissinger, got Dr. 𝗤𝙤𝙤 Chohan. Remember, he was sitting in United Kingdom. In fact, before he came to US, they got him to US, but before he came to US, he made a trip to Pakistan, and Yahya Khan gave him some Sikh manuscript from the Nankana Sahib to make him look as if this guy was the custodian of the Sikh Panth. Anyway, so this guy comes to US, and Henry Kissinger and his department allowed him to meet the press. I'd love for Dr. Kissinger to come and explain to us how and why he did this thing on P Gurus. You're welcome, sir. You know how to contact me. An ad appeared on October 13th, 1971. This is December 4th is when the war started. So it's about a month before that. In the New York Times, proclaiming the beginnings of a movement for an independent Sikh state. Now, the RAW made some inquiries and they found out that the Pakistani embassy in Washington, D.C. had paid for this advertisement. So even here, Kissinger was careful that the CIA name not appear. Now, once Indira Gandhi went out of power in 1977, the CIA and the ISI abruptly discontinued supporting 𝗤𝙤𝙤 Chohan. A number of other Sikh organizations formed by sections of the Sikh youth in the United Kingdom, the United States and Canada came into being with the names like ISYF, International Sikh Youth Federation, the Dal Khalsa, the 𝗣𝗚𝗂𝗁𝗄 Khalsa, etc. In fact, some of these organizations are banned even as of today. These advocated a violent campaign for the creation of Khalistan and repudiated the leadership of Dr. S Chohan, who was against resorting to violence. Now, after him came another individual. This man used to work in Punjab police, 𝗤𝙁𝙤𝙁 𝗔𝗚. Now, his wife was a good friend. His wife was from Kenya, and he moved to US, and he married this Kenyan lady. His wife was a good friend of the wife of Zia-Ul-Haq, and therefore there was another meeting of the minds, if you will. In fact, they were so close that when Zia-Ul-Haq once visited United States, his special needs child, daughter, did not stay at the hotel with the Haqs, but the child stayed with the Dillons. Interesting. Now, after that, there is one other individual, Bhai Gajinder Singh, and he formed the Dal Khalsa, and he carried out the hijacking of Indian Airlines aircraft and took it to Lahore. The first hijacking happened on September 29, 1981. Why am I saying the first hijacking? Do you want to know how many hijackings took place between September 1981 to August 1984? 5. The Pakistani authorities persuaded the hijackers to release the passengers and the plane and to surrender themselves. The plane with the passengers returned to India. The surrendered hijackers, including Gajinder Singh, were allowed to live in the Nankana Sahib Gurdwara. This is the most holiest shrine for the Sikhs. The Zia-Ul-Haq government refused to hand them over to the Indian government for investigation and trial. A total of 5 times the same thing was attempted. However, the fifth and the last hijacking that took place on the 24th of August 1984 ended differently. How? Let me tell you what happened. The fifth time, when the aircraft landed in Lahore, the ISI officials found that the terrorists had hijacked it with a toy gun, not a real weapon. They therefore gave the terrorists a revolver and persuaded them to go to Dubai. Now, every time this used to happen, the UAE authorities would not cooperate with India. But this time was different. When the plane landed at Dubai, the authorities of UAE persuaded them to terminate the hijacking by promising that they would not be handed over to the Indian authorities. The hijackers released the plane and passengers so that they could go back to India and handed over the revolver to the security authorities of Dubai. They wanted that they should be allowed to go to the US. They seemed confident that the US would not act against them. Here is where the Indian government played a real good trick. They chartered a private plane, and they had the plane filled with security, commandos, and officials of the RAW and IB. They flew it down to Dubai. They landed there, and they talked to the UAE officials. They persuaded them that this time things were going to be different. And none of the people got off the plane. The plane just landed, and it made it look to the hijackers who were, looking to see what this new plane brings, saying that this plane, nobody got off the plane. Okay, so the hijackers thought, aha, here is the plane that is going to come take us to the United States. And the UAE told the hijackers that, look, the plane that you had asked for has come. Here is the plane. You can now go, and then you can go to United States. You will all be heroes. So the hijackers come, they board the plane, and then to their consternation, they find that this is all Indian security people there. They're overpowered, and everybody was taken back to India. In fact, even the pilots didn't know where they were supposed to head. But they complied, and the hijackers, the entire lot was brought back to India. This was August 24th, 1984. You can see that a lot has happened, and all this happened because the Pakistani army, well, the army has a country, we know that, especially Zia-Ul-Haq, wanted to inflict 1,000 cuts on India, and these were his ways of trying to create unrest and instability in India. As to why Mrs. Indira Gandhi allowed the 93,000 prisoners of war to go and not even demand that Pakistan vacate POK and Gilgit-Baltistan, that was the one moment that she could have hard bargained. I have no clue why she didn't do that. Anyway, these are all mistakes that all of us are paying today. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. Namaskar.
Thank you.